yesterday an exemption for school vaccines drew a crowd of protesters today in downtown San Diego.
The demonstrators say that proposal infringes on their rights as parents. KUSI Sasha Food tells us about the protest that went right to the offices of one California lawmaker. Sasha?
Sandra and Alan, well, we've covered many rallies and demonstrations in the Civic Center Plaza. Today, a group of mostly women with their children, some even in strollers, organized a protest there. A protest meant for the ears of State Senator Marty Block.
Many of us have known about the potential risks of vaccinations for years.
The organizers of this rally at San Diego Civic Center Plaza say they want to be heard, especially by State Senator Marty Block, who voted for a committee bill earlier this week that would remove an exemption for families who don't want their school children to be vaccinated.
Many of us have wanted to get our message out there.
Rally participants say they're standing up for parental rights. One woman who did not want to be identified says, "This is not about opposing all immunizations. It's about having the discretion to choose."
Being a parent comes first, and I've had to make decisions based on what I feel like is best for my children.
On this day, the group of 75 to 100 protesters marched to the downtown offices of Senator Block. Representatives were able to meet with the senator, who listened to their concerns.
You really have to listen to the experts, and sometimes it's parents, depending on the issue, but sometimes it's doctors, and you make a choice that you think is for the better good of the greater number of people.
Senate Bill 277, which has been approved by two committees, would allow parents to opt out of required vaccinations only for medical reasons. Children whose families don't immunize them for personal or religious beliefs would be barred from attending public and private schools. Senator Block added an amendment that would give those children more options for homeschooling.
The committee broadened the folks who could be part of a homeschool. The committee also added independent study to the list of options.
Shauna Dowd says the measure fails to recognize the rights of people with strong religious beliefs.
Several of the lines of ingredients on the vaccines were derived from aborted fetal cells. So many people have an issue with that.
The bill under discussion was proposed by a state lawmaker after an outbreak of measles traced to Disneyland. The American Academy of Pediatrics is in support of the bill. Dr. Mark Sawyer of Rady Children's Hospital says parents must consider who they are putting at risk.
You could argue is their decision, but it also puts the other children in the same environment, in this case in the same school, at risk.
Protecting public health or accommodating personal choice, the battle that will ultimately be decided by the California legislature.
The parents who like this bill say that this is a school safety issue. You don't want to allow kids without vaccination to come to school.
And there is a very long, winding road before this measure can even become law. It has to pass more than half a dozen committee votes and then 2 floor votes and get the signature of the governor. Opponents say they will be fighting this every step of the way. In the newsroom, Sasha Fu, Sandra and Alan, back to you.
It all seemed like several hurdles. Bottom line here, Sasha, I mean, obviously the fewer people who get vaccinated, the greater the chance of an outbreak, right?
Well, that is the conventional thinking by the medical establishment. They say it's important for mass immunizations to take place, so you kind of create, they say, the sort of wall of immunity, so that if a few people go to school, they're not immunized, and there is some sort of infection, maybe one child might get sick, it doesn't end up spreading to the rest of the children in that population. That is the conventional thinking by the medical establishment. So they're saying that in recent years, with more people electing to opt out of immunizations, you are creating larger pockets of unimmunized children and therefore greatly increasing the risk of infection. The parents we talked to today are obviously questioning that.
Yeah. All right. We'll see where all this goes. Thank you, Sasha. Now to our Facebook question.